both cameras recording. So yeah, that's why I think parking guys should not go on with us now.
Saying funny shit just before we started.
Anywho, so Vikram, thanks for doing this.
Honestly, it's a pleasure.
Like, you are a college friend. I've known you forever, but thanks for coming all the way from Gurgaon on a lockdown day.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna make sure you get arrested.
I'm so
after
glad
this.
you were paying attention when I said I'm coming from Dwarka, but
Oh yeah, sorry. You're coming from Dwarka. Sure. But it's still equally far. Almost equally far.
probably even further. Actually, yeah. Considering where I live in Gurgaon, yeah, probably.
Yeah. Because you have to drive all the way.
Ride a bike all the way.
Ride the bike all the way. Like, I drive, so drive all the way. But it's a good drive.
It is. Today it's exceptionally hot though.
Yeah.
And today is not a good day to ride. Yeah.
What were we saying about they're not, like, everyone's given up in Gurgaon?
So it's weird. And I don't think it's just a Gurgaon thing, but what I've realized is when Corona started and there were barely 100 cases, we were shitting our pants.
Yeah.
We are over like what, 3 lakhs, 5
Yeah.
lakhs right now?
13 lakhs.
13 lakhs. You're talking overall cases, but yeah.
Yeah. Active
They
cases.
stopped giving a shit.
Yeah.
The other day I went to Galleria, like I was telling you. I've never seen so many people there. It was literally like Diwali sale is going on. There was so many people. I was bumping into people. Imagine.
So it's like every day now.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, man. I think people got over this like pretty quickly. They were
I
like,
think people were blaming the Tabligis for no rhyme or reason.
I know, man. Tabligis were like, हमने क्या किया यार? थोड़े दिन तुम्हारे देश में आके हम चले गए. Whatever. But I think psychologically also you can't keep people indoors for too long.
I think
They will come out.
I think people now have to be conscious enough to do things that they were not used to doing before. If you stick to the same mentality that okay, I have to chill in the exact same place, at the exact same restaurant, in the exact same area where everyone used to chill, then obviously you're bound to run into more people. I think this is the perfect time to do and explore new places. Go to a place where you know not a lot of people are going.
Yeah, those places need to be there too, no?
There are plenty
But
of
I
places.
think places will come up now because
Places will
what's
come up and-
going to happen is for the first time, we've always known we are a lot of people. But अभी क्या हो रहा है कि for the first time we are thinking it's actually very dangerous. कि we are so many people and living so close to each other. Even in like good neighborhoods. ऐसा नहीं कि like even in just in slums like old Delhi वगैरह भी है. It's not sustainable. मतलब disease तो फैलेगी ना.
True, but then I think that's how society is at the end of the day now. If your argument is what's stopping the next coronavirus from happening in the world again, honestly, nothing.
No, obviously. What I'm saying is that
The way society is right now, it is that way right now. People live in close proximity to each other. They have to. They work in the same area. They live in the same area.
no, I'm not saying people who live in those areas will start moving out. What I'm saying is that the way our cities are built, they're actually not built. They just come up.
They just
our
come up,
cities
yeah.
just
They
come
just
up,
move,
right?
yeah.
Except for maybe a couple of cities. That's all. That's your phone.
I am really sorry.
But for the first time, we can actually pay attention to building cities. Actually
Yeah.
giving a thought that okay, Delhi and Mumbai are actually not cool places. They're just overcrowded. They're just cities out of limit.
I think it's a gradual process. As much as you'd like to think that, at the end of the day, you know that opportunity is in these two cities.
No, that's what I'm saying. So opportunities will always be in big cities, but there are a number of trades that don't need to happen in the city. Like there's no reason a factory needs to be in Narayana, for example, right?
True.
So
True.
why not actively shift those things out of big cities?
A lot of them are shutting down though. A lot of them
Yeah,
are
yeah.
making way for newer like malls and all sorts of things.
Exactly.
So given enough time, I think that's what's gonna happen eventually.
Yeah.
I don't think that's gonna be a problem. Not a lot of places in Delhi like that are left anywhere.
I think there still are areas. Not so many, but yeah.
No, but I think the other thing I was talking about is that people have to find new avenues for recreation. Like you can't just there was a time when chilling just meant going to the same pub. Right?
Oh,
and
yeah.
drinking was chilling.
True.
Right? now is probably the time people will start thinking, okay, let's take a class somewhere together. Let's go to a garden somewhere. Let's have a picnic somewhere. Let's go for a drive.
Yeah.
The avenues have increased, and I think people are exploring more things. I think people will explore more things. The other day I was in Vasant Kunj. I've seen so many people cycling together.
Oh yeah, it's been a trend, yeah.
Yeah.
It's been a trend everywhere I go. Even
And
in Noida,
fitness.
in Delhi.
It's insane the number of people that have lost weight, you included, man. How many kgs?
It doesn't look like it right now.
Because you're sitting down right now,
Yeah.
but still, compared to what I saw you last, I think that's
But it's happened at home. It's not happened at a gym.
fair enough.
Right. So
I mean, who's to say a gym is a better place to do
exactly my point. Right. You can do it on your own also.
it? I think there was a world before gyms also, where people were fit.
Really fit people.
Really fit people. You think Spartans went to a gym? No.
I don't think so.
They just
I didn't
picked up
think
random
they
shit.
did not have cult fit.
Heavy boulders.
Did they have something like Spart fit, like a Sparta fit?
They would have had routines.
What type of gym could work in Sparta?
So there are Spartan workouts. There are
What are
actually
those workouts?
body workouts.
Hmm.
I don't know if they're actually invented by the Spartans or they just taken the name Spartans from
Yeah.
the school. But there are like proper written, what do you call, documented historical documents that back in the Roman era and the
Right.
Spartan era that talk about the training regimes, the way they would train, how they would train.
Ah.
So yeah,
Who were the Spartans fighting so much? Like, why did they need to be like Athenians, right? Athens, like,
so Spartans were part
What
of
else?
Greece, right?
yeah. So there was Sparta, there was Athens, right? And there was
Athens and Sparta would have still been part. I think they were fighting the.
no, for the longest, Spartans and Athenians used to fight each other also.
Yeah, they didn't get along. Yeah,
Right,
it's only when the Persians came that they had
Exactly.
to unite
Unite and stuff.
under those circumstances.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, but they were really fit.
they were fit people.
Or
They
at least
were-
in the movies,
They
were
were
really fit.
also very gay, which is something nobody tells you. No, but this is also
Sparta
a
was
thing.
gay?
Spartans were gay. Like they
All
would
of them.
only have sex with their women to reproduce. I've read that somewhere. Okay? But I won't think it like okay. So you're surrounded by
so
men.
gay.
You're training by men. You're wrestling naked men all day. At some point, I think
So, like most armies, like ancient armies, were gay. is
probably,
what-
probably,
So they
or
got,
bi.
oh, bi. They were like, okay, all the gay people come. We have to invade somebody. Like all the gay people, like, okay, you know what? We don't have gay rights. Let's just kill somebody.
Imagine an army of gay people. Why need swords, man? Just take dildos.
You're saying the popular culture reference of gay people as fit people is coming from there, from Sparta. The gays are always portrayed.
Okay, let's think of it objectively, right? I
Yeah.
think only a man would understand what the perfection of a man is, right?
Yeah.
He would want to be the best at he can be at his own category, just like a hot woman understands what being hot means,
Right.
right? So for gays to be fit, I think there's an incentive there.
Yeah. To have a look, to have a good body to look at, right?
So probably historically speaking, that would have been a thing that okay, if he's gay, he has to compete not just with women but also amongst other men. So why not?
So you're saying women never really demanded guys to be like really hot. It was other men.
I think they always did. Are we discounting the fact that looks don't play a part in attraction?
No. I'm saying that women never had an army, right? Where they required men to be fit. Like, okay, guys, you need to do 100 push-ups right now. and then fetch me some water.
I
from
think
2
it
miles.
comes down to compensation. Like you know where you stand, you think you're perfect, and you meet somewhere in the middle. I think that's the sweet spot
Sweet spot of what?
of how you settle how fit you want your partner to be.
Oh, yeah. No. I'm not discounting the evolutionary reason behind like seeking fit partners. What I'm saying is like only gay men could actually instruct other men to be fit, is what I'm saying.
That I'm not sure of.
Like instruct, like organize them and be fit,
Oh yeah, sure,
right? That's what I'm trying to say.
probably.
Yeah. That is the type of data I would want from in a Spartan battle. What's the social dynamic?
Between gays and Spartans and how they survive together. I don't know, man. I think it's something that is so old that I don't think people even gave a shit back then
About being fit.
about being gay.
Yeah.
Like I don't think it was ever a taboo subject back in the day.
I think ancient societies or even like medieval societies at most places were quite like liberal about it. Like nobody cares. In Indian texts, it's like there are mentions of non-heterosexual people all the time.
Really?
Yeah.
Who?
This one in Mahabharata. What was her
There was
name?
a gay guy in Mahabharata?
No, Shikhandi. She was half man, half woman.
Oh.
Right? Half man,
Yeah,
half
yeah.
woman.
By that logic, even Shiva was known as Ardnarishwar.
But that is because he portrays both the male and female because he's the god of creation.
Shiva is genderless.
I think Shiva is everything.
I think, you know what? I think the conversation of India, like the only thing that can beat this Jai Shri Ram wave would be a shift towards Shiva.
That's what Congress tried to do.
Congress tried to
So-
get the Shiva bandwagon.
In one of the elections, after UP, I think it was in the Gujarat election when Rahul Gandhi was sort of coming out as a Shiv Bhakt. Somebody questioned whether if he's a Shiv Bhakt, whether he wears a Janeyu or not. So there was a controversy about it. But they try to portray.
That is
That's
a
the
Shiv
thing. In Hinduism, like there's so many gods. Like there's a god for almost all things. And so it for the longest it was very hard to like make it very right wingy movement kind of thing. क्योंकि
No,
एक
but I
god
think
नहीं है ना?
even by association, like I think Shiva's a cooler person to associate with
Oh
than
yeah,
Ram.
totally.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm not saying Ram did anything bad. I think he's also a pretty cool god.
Yeah.
But just judging purely on the stories and what you know
Oh
about
yeah,
the
yeah,
two.
definitely.
You
He lives
definitely
on a
like-
mountain, dude.
Yeah, he's
Like
on a
big
mountain.
that.
He's got dreadlocks. He gets high. He's got a snake around him.
Oh,
Like he's a
interesting
more
thing.
charming persona to look
Oh,
at.
I mean, he's the one you want to invite to your parties.
Hmm.
I know what you're saying.
Oh
And
yeah, definitely. He's a
interesting
party
thing,
guy.
he's a total party animal, like Shiva parties. Like that's why all dhabas are Shiv dhabas.
Exactly. The party after food.
Yeah, have some good food. That so interesting thing about Kailash, this. So Shiv used to sit, or like still sits on the Kailash mountain, right? And in like 3 other religions, it's like center of. So in one Tibetan religion, it's the center of the universe. That mountain, that particular mountain.
Okay.
And they say the whole universe revolves around it, right?
Clearly they don't know shit.
They don't know shit, but the interesting thing is Kailash is located exactly at the what do you call it? The location where the Indian plate hit the Asian plate.
Really?
Yeah, it's on the other side. It's on the Chinese side of it, like the Asian side.
Okay.
So if you're sitting at, obviously there is no tectonic plates back then, but if you're sitting somewhere around Kailash and you're looking towards India, towards the south, you would have, and let's say you could like live through time and not like freeze and stuff. You could have actually seen whatever happened in India in the last like 10,000 like million years. जब से plate hit किया है basically.
You mean like geologically study the ground and understand
Geologically study, see how patterns, like weather patterns got formed because
Okay.
of the mountains. See how actually mountains got formed in
So
the
like
first
it's a
place.
good place to study
Yeah.
the
Like if somebody put a camera for the last, let's say 6 crore years on Kailash towards India, like towards the
तो
south.
बहुत ज़्यादा हो गया.
Yeah, obviously we don't have battery नहीं चलेगी तुरंत तो. But if there was a camera or a guy sitting there,
Yeah.
they could have seen everything and the first human migrations.
Crazy. Like a vantage point to the world's history.
Yeah, at least to the subcontinent.
To some degree actually.
And you can actually see like dinosaurs dying and stuff
From there.
from there.
And see the asteroid coming and hitting Earth.
Yeah, you could be like, ooh,
And
it's
you'd be
falling
safe
in Mexico.
because it's pretty high.
You're pretty high. So ash is not gonna like fall.
My thing is like we heard so much about Mount Kailash and no government is allowing people to like the Chinese government doesn't allow people to climb that mountain. Why I still don't understand.
Yeah. Chinese are like against religion like in totality.
No, I get it, but all the more reason to send people up there and prove them wrong, right? Like if
No,
a
but
religion
there's
tells you that there's a god sitting on that mountain, would you simply just say, okay, fine, let's not send people there? Like you'd be curious, right? Especially if that's not even your religion.
I think people must have climbed it.
Nobody's climbed it.
I think it's
It's not
an
been
urban
climbed.
legend.
No,
What
no,
is
no,
so
no.
difficult in climbing that mountain?
Nothing. They just don't let you climb it. It's a restricted zone.
Oh, really?
You can't climb Mount Kailash. Nobody has climbed Mount
It's not that
Kailash.
high. I mean, you like physically. you
Yeah,
can,
it
but
looks also
legally you
pretty easy to climb. Actually, I don't know. People say that the snow-capped mountains make it almost impossible to climb.
can't. Everest must be snow capped.
No, like the shape of the mountain, Mount Kailash, it's almost like, it's not like a mountain. It's roundish at the top.
Oh, slippery.
Yeah, so it's slippery, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's very difficult to reach the summit because you'll be at a constantly slippery slope
Right.
climbing that thing. So probably, I don't know, but it's given today's technology, they should probably send someone by now.
Or some aliens, probably. If I were an alien and I had to actually observe what was happening on this planet, Kailash would be a perfect place to fix a camera. Like, obviously, I'll fix other cameras.
You do it from space, bro.
Or, yeah, from space.
Why bother even coming down?
Like, more solar energy.
Do you think aliens are looking at us? Do you think would any alien civilization know of our existence?
I think it's possible that
I
some
mean, would be
species
very possible, right?
some species far advanced. And the thing is, we imagine a species to be like, it cannot be just marginally advanced, right? It has to be quite advanced. So it cannot be like, oh, we create a rocket that goes 10,000 kilometers per second. So they have a rocket which goes like
20,000,
20
yeah.
or 100,000.
It's not a comparison of
It's
apples
not,
and oranges.
exactly, right. So it has to be very, very advanced. Like, as
A different
advanced,
technology altogether, like teleportation or wormholes or whatever.
right. So it could be like the difference between us and other animals. Like us and, let's say, not just monkeys, but probably a little lower, or even monkeys. I don't know. But like what monkeys can create and what we can create is like
The same differential is what
incomparable.
those aliens would be able to create.
Right, because we've been able
Fair
to create
enough.
cities and
Yeah,
stuff,
yeah.
right? And spaceships. So just somebody just as intelligent as we are from monkeys would be able to create much more, right?
Here's the thing. It's not a very big jump if you think about it.
Yeah. So evolutionary point of view, say it's probably just like not even 1% difference in DNA. Right?
Exactly.
But from an intelligence point of view,
It's just a few thousand years.
exactly. So it's the next step in
Dude,
civilization.
when you're talking about the universe, like, fair enough, there are stars that they predate us by billions of years. They would have definitely had far superior technology
True.
even before this planet was a thing.
Yeah.
So I have a feeling by now we have been observed. We have just not been worth visiting.
Yeah, like zoo animals, like national park animals.
Yeah, they're like, let
we
them
know
be.
they're there and just let them be. Don't interfere.
Yeah.
Because so here's the thing. Here's the thought I often have. Like, we build national parks for animals, right? So animals don't know that they're actually living in a park and not a forest. They think this is how the world is, right? They also don't know where the boundary of that park ends, right? Unless they see like
True. That universe is that for them.
Yeah, so national park में भी animals रहते ही हैं और humans भी रहते हैं. So animals just think this is how it is. But if a higher species were to create something similar,
We would be a part of something like that.
yeah, and wouldn't they use black holes as those boundary points? Because our universe is space-time universe, right? It's space.
See, then you're getting into a different dimension altogether. Because the species
Like
would have to
literally.
exist outside our dimension to be
Right.
noticing us if keeping black holes is the.
No. Even if that species also exists in a spatial dimension, like we occupy
Like
space,
us.
just like they occupy space,
Okay.
right? Even then, but it's far more intelligent, right? So what it can do is it can create a national park surrounded by black holes, where black holes are just the boundaries of it.
Yeah, but we're not surrounded by black holes.
No, not physically surrounded. We are just surrounded in terms of our understanding of what the space is, right?
So that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
If you exit through a black hole, technically speaking, you are outside time.
No. What I'm saying is the whole universe is held together by black holes, right? Different galaxies,
Assuming.
right?
Yeah.
Like most of the
Dark energy.
dark energy as well,
Yeah.
plus black holes, right? So black holes are sort of frontiers in like we don't know how to cross that. That's where the space breaks, right?
That's where time breaks.
Both like space time,
Space
right?
and time break, yeah.
And our understanding of the universe also breaks. We cannot
True.
imagine a place where
True.
we can't move, where I can't move my hand
In time, true.
in time or space, right?
Yeah.
So if I was a superior species which could sort of navigate through
Through time,
time or space,
that
or
will make you
space-time.
outside our dimension. That will make you in the fifth dimension. Given how time is the fourth dimension,
Yeah.
any species that could observe us outside our understanding of time or space time would technically have to be outside our space time.
No. It can also limit our space by black holes, and it can also exist in a
Like a
universe.
microcosm, you say?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay.
Like हमारा universe इतना बड़ा है.
There surrounds us.
So what happens is when you nail a tent, right? टेंट के दो साइड आके नेल पे मिल जाते हैं. अब कोई अगर उस पर बहुत छोटा चींटी चल के आ रही है तो उसको पता नहीं चलेगा कि एक्चुअली नेल है और यहाँ से टर्न हो
I get it, yeah.
राइट. सो ब्लैक होल में भी वी डोंट नो व्हाट हैपेंस देयर.
True. Could simply be a hole.
Exactly.
A hole in the fabric of space-time.
Exactly. Which like takes you somewhere else.
Highly doubt it will though.
Or maybe it just gives you a very sharp turn and you go back to where you were. It's like, okay, you are coming from that here. Just go back to that here. You're coming very fast. You go back very fast. So the amount of distance you will travel back in time after taking a sharp turn from a black hole is directly proportional to your speed.
True.
So
but then your speed is directly proportional to the black hole's mass.
Exactly.
Because higher mass would generate higher speed.
Yeah.
Damn. It is like a limiter, right?
It is.
Fuck.
Yeah. But
makes you wonder though.
What?
We're meaningless, man. As a species.
Yeah. Man.
Like we are a fraction of time. We are like literally such a small spark.
Yeah.
But that's what it is.
That's also our perception, no time.
But okay, think about it this way. Our universe is also limited by us itself, right?
What do you mean?
Your universe is limited by your lifespan.
Yeah, like 72 years on an average, right?
That's your limit.
Yeah. So even if you travel at the speed of light for 72 years, obviously you won't feel time that way. But
you'll still age 72 years.
Yeah, but then light can take you anywhere.
Regardless.
It can only take you 72 light years away.
Ideally speaking, yes.
No, but when you're traveling at the speed of light...
Why won't you age? Even if you're traveling at the speed of light, it'll take you 72 years to get there.
So for 72 light years, I can travel. That's not much, dude.
That's not much at all.
Just a couple of stars, probably.
True.
And that's the human limit.
That's a life limit. Unless they find a way to preserve your life. And
even for 1,000 years, like for 20,000 years.
That's as far as your thing can go, yeah. Like if you were to go 1 billion light years ahead, going at the speed of light and coming back, Earth would have aged by 2 billion years.
Yeah. It would also not be there.
Yeah.
It could also not be there.
Most probably.
Yeah.
I saw this very cool movie on space, man. Series on Netflix पे. I don't remember what's it about, but it's about this guy who's like a space boatman. Like his job is to take people on different planets on his spaceship. Right? And he meets this very old woman who's lived for like 10,000s of years, and she dreams of going back to Earth, and she's on a dying, bed, and it's a dying wish, something like that of the sort. And Electric Dreams. It's on Prime.
Okay.
You should really watch it.
Okay.
So he takes this woman and she wants to go back to Earth. Thing is, there is no Earth anymore.
Oh.
She has outlived the planet itself.
By traveling?
By traveling and age and whatever.
Okay.
Like she's older than the planet's existence.
Okay.
So he takes her to a nearby planet and says that, oh, this is Earth, this is what it has become, and it's a wasteland now. And she's like, no, but this is wrong. And then she's like, okay, land the plane. So they land, and then so all the descriptions start coming true on that planet. It's a very trippy movie.
What description?
Whatever she described Earth to be,
Earth starts becoming like that.
That planet that they landed on starts becoming like that.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it's a
just
very,
by her
very
thought.
trippy. Yeah, and it's like one of those 15-minute movies. Like the entire movie just takes place in a 15-minute span.
Get it.
And then the pirate also dies, but okay.
Did you watch Dark?
I did not watch Dark. It's too slow, man. I think Dark suffers the same problem that Breaking Bad does.
I haven't watched Breaking Bad.
See, that's the thing. They're very slow shows. Like they need to pick you up.
But they ended Dark in 3 seasons. That's what I liked about it.
I've tried, man. It's one of those things that you have to sit and concentrate. Actually, I think it's a lot to do with the lack of time also.
You mean in the show or with you?
With me in general. Yeah. But...
in the show, they had a lot of time.
They do, apparently. It's about time travel, right?
Yeah, it's about a small village which is like 4 families which are affected by time travel.
Okay.
So that village is actually existing in a time loop.
You know, I was thinking about something. What if the only way to escape time is to create your own loop out of existence?
How do you mean? Like how do you create a time loop out of existence?
Say you go 4 generations back in time
Mhm.
and you impregnate your great 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 grandmother to have your grandfather who eventually has his son who eventually has you.
Okay.
So now you have taken 4 people out of a loop of time.
तो वही तो होता है डार्क में. Exactly this.
क्या बात कर रहा है?
This is exactly what happens in the show.
Okay.
So this guy travels back, not exactly their grandparents, but like one of the older ones in the village from a different family. So diagonally, so somebody goes from the present to the past and impregnates somebody diagonally, like
Who
some other
eventually
family.
ends up giving birth to him.
So who marries with somebody else,
Mm-hmm.
like their grandchildren marry someone else or something, and they give birth to this guy. And that is why this village is stuck in a time loop, because every 33 years there's a wormhole that
Okay.
opens in the
Okay.
because there's a nuclear reactor in that village. So every 33 years, same guy will go back in time through that wormhole, start a family with someone else, because that child
What if he kills that guy?
who
The
protagonist.
okay, no, not the protagonist. Like this is the same guy in different points in time, right? Like if I go back in time
Right.
and I see a younger version of myself,
Yeah.
I can just kill him. Like
Yeah.
I would put myself out of existence, but I would save the entire village.
If you go back in time and kill yourself
Yeah.
in the past,
In the, I mean, past the बहुत relative term हो गया since
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
cyclical now, but
I think that's what happens, right? The protagonist tries to protagonist नहीं, जो एक police officer होता है जो present में, he tries to go back
okay.
to he doesn't know at that time कि ऐसा ऐसा चल रहा है, but the original person to go back in time is a small kid.
Okay.
So then he grows up.
By the way, major spoiler ऐसे बोलना पड़ता है.
We just like everyone's watched Dark by now.
Are you serious? I'm
Yeah.
the only one who's not watched it.
Dude, it's the most crazy Netflix show I've seen after Game of Thrones.
Really?
I mean, it's not the same level, but
That's
it was
insane, yeah.
trending on Twitter. It's all over Instagram, the memes.
Fuck.
And it's in German. Can you believe it?
No, but dude, Netflix is doing this, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, Sacred Games got popular outside India, man.
Yeah.
With like Americans.
Yeah.
I watched it, and it's crazy. It just tells you कि भाई एक artist इंडिया में बैठ के भी global audience पकड़ रहा है. It's
Of course, yeah.
insane.
That's what is an advantage with these platforms, right? Now, actually, good content can come out.
Yeah.
पहले क्या था कि no one was willing to experiment / nobody was giving so much space to like
True.
creative people, right? Like people from outside.
I think also now more real stories can come.
Yeah.
Because now you have like a proper storytelling, platform.
Exactly.
I don't think movies work anymore if you think about it.
Because
If you've been in the habit of watching so many series, you want that character development to happen, and that can't happen in a 3-hour movie
yeah,
anymore.
of course.
You just can't relate with that person.
Yeah, movies are like snapshots of someone's life, and you're like not really that interested unless you're looking for like pure.
Unless the
thrill.
entire movie is based on one event, like it happens within one. Like,
Yeah, that's what movies like. A lot of these Hindi movies, no, where
Yeah.
there's a villain, there's a hero, there's some tragedy, he needs to like seeks revenge.
Yeah, that shit won't work anymore.
Yeah, but also it's like.
I mean,
done
you'll
too
find
much.
an audience, I'm sure, but it'll never be that big.
I think Salman Khan's still gonna be popular for a while.
I don't think so.
Is
I don't
I
think
think for a
either of
few
the
years-
Khans are bothered to make money.
Oh, I think Shah Rukh Khan will find it the most difficult
Why?
because he used to have an urban audience in the 90s. That audience has grown up and has moved to Netflix.
You honestly think he can't do a Netflix special?
Oh, he can.
I
I'm
think
saying
he'll
that
do
he
very
will find
good
it
Netflix
difficult on screen, like in cinemas.
Yeah.
On Netflix, I think he can be great.
On Netflix, I think he'll kill it, man.
Yeah. I think he should. Like Saif Ali Khan, dude.
Saif Ali Khan
That
took it
guy
away,
in
man.
Sacred Games
Dude,
was like
Abhishek
amazing.
Bachchan, man. Have you seen the latest one? Breathe, Into the Shadows.
No.
Holy shit. Abhishek Bachchan did a good job. Like,
Nice.
I used to have my doubts about that guy after Dostana and all that stupid shit he made in between. But this thing was a redeeming show,
Really?
man.
I'll
Yeah.
check it out. The one
Yeah,
with
yeah.
Breathe is which one? One
Breathe
with
is,
Sushmita Sen, right?
it's got Amit Saad.
Oh, I don't know who he is.
Amit Saad है और if you have seen ब्योमकेश बख्शी,
Yeah, yeah.
उसमें जो एक गोरी सी वो नहीं होती स्टेज एक्ट्रेस who falls in love with.
Yeah, मैं Vyomkesh Bakshi में I was, I think, quite drunk when I went in and I just passed out.
Check it. It's
But
a very side character in that.
Okay, still like that movie.
There's that Parulkar guy from
Yeah,
Game
yeah,
of
Sacred
Thrones.
Games.
Sacred Games, yeah. Sorry, Sacred
Game of
Games.
Thrones. Parulkar could be in Game of Thrones though. What character would Parulkar become in Game of Thrones?
Littlefinger.
Littlefinger, no?
Littlefinger.
But then you're just saying it out of skin tone, right? Similar skin tone.
No.
Parulkar is a police guy, right?
Yeah, wait.
He would be that Tywin, the police authority guy.
No.
Although he's not that commanding.
He's not that commanding. He's always at the mercy of someone.
Of the politician.
Of the politician. Even though he seeks revenge at the end.
Yeah.
He'd probably be either a Theon Greyjoy maybe.
No, man. He was a little protagonist-y. Like Parulkar was a bit aggressive and assertive. Theon
He'd be a
Greyjoy.
good Commissioner Gordon, if you've seen Batman films.
No. Which one is the character?
The commissioner, police commissioner.
Oh, जिसका half face हो जाता है.
No, that's the politician.
Oh.
The other guy, the guy who shoots him.
Oh, okay. I don't know who
That
you're talking
police
about.
inspector. How have you not seen Batman, man?
Bro, superhero movies have never appealed to me. I could kid you
Why?
not.
The thing is that till you haven't seen them, how can you say they've not appealed to
It's
you?
the snapshot problem.
What is the snapshot problem?
So every time you go on, like in cinema halls, right, you're looking to watch a film, but the type of problems they show in superhero movies are like, they're not actually problems, and the type of solutions are actually also not solutions. So it's just a thrill you're seeking.
But there is a storyline. There is a message that's underlaid all this drama and action. There's
Yeah.
always character development.
Yeah, but it just seems too simplistic. Like the same reason I don't watch Rajnikant movies.
But it's not the same thing. Rajnikant movies are cartoons.
And
Superhero movies are so much more. The Batman trilogy.
They literally
the
came out
original-
of cartoons. Like literally.
No, they did not. They came out of comics.
Yeah, exactly.
So what are comics? Comics were okay. See, you look at any superhero.
Yeah.
Okay. It's an exaggeration of a currently existing story. Captain America is the friend who went to the army and came back all righteous and muscular.
Yeah.
Iron Man is the playboy who had a lot of money and fancy cars and gadgets. Hulk was the guy who was studious but then took steroids, which made him strong but also made him angry. Thor was the German student exchange program kid. You'll always find, some sort of similarity that matches a current real life human being. And that's what superheroes are. Their conflicts also are reflections of what a person might be going through. Spider-Man is the perfect example of what a teenager goes through. There's subtext all over it. White stuff coming out of you, having teenager problems, staying up at night, sticky stuff. I mean, girl problems. Even the villains are always reflections of somebody a teenager might encounter.
So that's the thing. So I agree with that. Like I'm not denying.
So it's just a format of storytelling. The point is, you're saying you might not relate to it is because you're seeing it at face value.
No, that format of storytelling doesn't appeal to me, is what I'm trying to say.
Probably. But there is something it's not just a cartoon. It's not just a Rajnikant film where, people don't just watch action movies because of the action. Like, it's a big misconception. And I think it's one misconception that will clear yourself off if you start watching them. Like, I would honestly highly recommend the Batman trilogy.
No, I can watch it. What I'm saying is that I will never be into it. ऐसा नहीं कि I have not watched superhero movies. I've watched a few. But it's never excited me. Like, a random comedy will excite me more. Like a random stand-up, even if it's not a good one. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Like the Game of Thrones, for example.
This entire way of, exaggerating reality to make it seem, story-worthy, so to speak.
Mahabharata, right?
Exactly. Religion is like that. All religion is all... Like, the greatest epics of storytelling have always been exaggerations of normal life.
Exactly.
Not just Mahabharata, Ramayana also, I'm
Like
pretty
same
sure.
reason I'm also not very big into religion. You see my point, right?
That makes sense. That is some consistent logic.
Exactly. So that's the only thing. I'm not very religious about Rajnikant either. I think he's a good actor, but
True. Or religious about Shiva or
anybody or
Iron Man for
anything.
that matter, yeah.
So it's the same logical consistency that I try to follow.
What do you think of this claims that the Nepal Prime Minister is making, saying that Ram is Nepali?
I think world leaders have they're on a break. All of them are like, we're gonna do talk bullshit.
Okay, what in your opinion is, how should India get out of it? Like, what is
Out of what?
out of this wave of pseudo nationalism and religious politics and all this? Forget the side. I'm not talking about who's believing what. I'm just saying, how do we deviate conversation from something so trivial like religion to something more important,
Something more important
like education, jobs?
Oh, I think it's a phase. I don't think it's going to last too long.
How do we get out of it?
So one of the ways that people have exited mainstream right-wing thinking has been
War.
tragedy of any kind, war or disease, famine. So any crisis basically. Now what happens is whenever there's a crisis and there's a mainstream ideology, so people tend to switch, right? If it is very liberal and there's a war, like what happened in Iran, Islamic Revolution, and all the Muslim countries you've seen, they've gone through extensive periods of war. Before the 70s, that was not the case.
True, they were very open.
Yeah, Iran was like France, right?
Yeah.
Even Afghanistan was quite liberal. What happens is when you go through tragedy or when you go through a crisis where resources are limited and the marketplace is not that free, right?
Such mentality start coming again.
Yeah, so you need protection also, and that is where you lean towards authority the most. It also happens. So one other reason is that if the mainstream has to switch from, let's say, fanaticism towards a more liberal or laid back outlook towards the world in general.
I mean, let's not call it liberal. I mean, is it liberal to think about jobs and talk about the economy?
Yeah, so let's say
It's not.
non-fanatic. So let's just
Non-fanatic,
non-fanatic. So if you have to switch towards non-fanatic, money has to follow that ideology.
Which in all cases would probably.
It would. So as soon as the fanaticism starts affecting money, that fanaticism will become a national problem also.
Interesting.
What happened at Renaissance was traders or big business basically and inventors were aligned, because when a scientist can invent a railway, who benefits from it the most? It's not people, because they're not transporting themselves so much. It's the goods,
Yeah.
coal and whatever you want to transport, right?
True.
Textile. So people with money will put their money behind science, and that's what used to happen. Like all big inventors were either working in a chemistry lab or a big
True.
railway engine factory.
Okay, so now on the other side, there are companies investing in this fanaticism in the first place.
Like how?
I mean, you're telling me that a fanatic party in India is not funded by companies, private companies that have vested interest in it. That happens across parties.
I think business people not invest, donate to parties in general,
Yeah.
whoever is coming to power.
And that always happens because there's some quid pro quo there happening, right?
Yeah.
So it makes you think that the party in power would be the party with the most funding too.
Yeah.
So
When Congress was in power, it had the most funding.
True. So whoever's in power would technically command the most. So now it means that there's been a shift of trust from one party onto the next.
No, so the business is not really showing trust in the party itself, but the trust in what public believes in, because they at the end have to align with them, right? Because public is going to elect.
So public perception at the end of the day is what's gonna.
So that's how society is transformed, right? When George Bush was the president, a lot of money was behind Republicans and behind war, but when they saw it was not making any sense.
But then the thing is, you can always create a fake enemy, right? I mean, yeah, I mean, then the entire game becomes, let's create more conflict. The more there's conflict, the more people will fear. The more people fear, the more they stick to a.
Yeah, so that's what used to hold kingdoms together, right? Always the fear of the enemy.
Yeah.
And that's why authoritarian leaders also survive, because there's always a fear of something. There's no reason why Putin should be there. He's not benefiting Russia economically. It's not doing great.
On the other side, I would say that and it has been studied that war also leads to great innovation. I mean,
Yeah.
every time war has ravaged a country, it has always picked up again because of the factories and things that have restarted and increased because of supplying the war.
I think right now Corona could do it because it's a war-like situation. It's just not. It's just. I mean, if you count bodies, there's always also destruction. So people are dying anyway.
Yeah.
So
I mean, there's economic loss for sure.
Economic loss. There's like
That's far more
it
than
is a
any war
war-like
has done.
situation.
Yeah.
It's just that buildings are not collapsing. That's the only difference, right?
True.
Like give or take an earthquake. But
I'm actually thinking, do you think it's been more detrimental than World War III would have been? Say, if you were to value the damage coronavirus has done economically versus the damage World War III could potentially do economically, which do you think would have been worse?
I think obviously World War III would have been worse because buildings would have also collapsed. So you would have had a physical danger also. Right now,
it's only an economical danger, but then economics thrives during war.
No, a type of economics.
A type of economics, but then there is always growth.
Because you want to rebuild stuff, right? And the easiest growth comes is from construction. So right now there will not be any construction. And construction is something that gives employment to everybody, like unskilled labor and whoever, right? But that will not happen right now. So that is a challenge. So it's a little worse than war because, I mean, war would have been worse in terms
of destruction and loss of life for sure.
But in terms of recovery, this one could be a little more difficult because there's nothing to build. Unless...
Do you think so? Here's my theory. There are so many people who have gone back to villages. You think all of them would come back eventually? I'm saying a great majority would stay there and restart an economics in the village itself.
No, I don't think so. They'll look for a job immediately.
Even if everyone who's migrated out will come back.
Even if 10% people decide to stay there, even 20% people, if they decide to stay back.
That's a lot.
That's a lot, but like 80% is coming back. So
that's fine.
Not enough is changing.
That's fine, but then still a 20% increase is a huge number.
I think we will eventually start focusing and put money behind investing in smaller towns and villages, those economies.
True.
Even big business. And I think it is bound to happen.
Which makes more sense to have a first mover advantage.
Yeah. So for example, in content, right? TikTok was a very small town phenomenon, right? Or village phenomenon. Like it was cities also.
True.
But it's more spread out than Instagram, for example.
Yeah.
So Byju's, for example, will have the same thing because everybody needs learning, right? So the focus will be on smaller towns also. And then they will expand to like...
bigger towns, yeah.
No. To different like vernacular, state boards.
Okay.
So market will find those things. Like it will reach out to small towns and villages. So that is bound to happen. So economic structure in general will change. There's no stopping it.
But that could be a good thing, right? I mean,
it will be a good thing.
Given how we're spreading out, I think that could be a positive thing to come.
Yeah.
Baki, who knows when this is gonna get over?
Yeah, I think it's gonna stay like forever. If there's no vaccine.
Kejriwal was talking about herd immunity, but
for herd immunity you need like by conservative estimate 60%. Even if you say like
what's 60% of Delhi's population?
Like if there are 2 crore people, then 1 crore 20 lakh people.
1 crore 20 lakh people.
Yeah.
And how many active cases
are there so far?
Actively, how many cases have there been in Delhi already? Recorded?
I think close to 2 lakhs, I guess.
Close to 2 lakhs, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's not
nearly enough.
Anything, yeah. 2 lakhs of 2 crores is 1%.
True.
So 1% have been infected.
But then we also know that 80% of all cases are asymptomatic. So meaning that even that 2% is 10%.
20%.
No. Like 10% of Delhi's population would have been affected by corona already. Given current numbers and current understanding of how the virus is spreading.
Also, I think there would have been more symptomatic cases early on, which people did not think could be corona. Like a lot of people were getting sick and they just did not think.
Yeah, shrugged it off like it's a flu.
So the serological survey they did, right, indicated 46 lakhs have been infected.
In Delhi?
Yeah.
So that's halfway there, man, almost. 1/3.
So we're not that far.
But given how a doubling rate is like, what, doubles every 2-3 weeks?
Up to it's slowed down in Delhi, no?
That's true.
So Either we speed it up to reach herd immunity or
spit
like
on everyone.
Yeah.
होली पार्टी ऑर्गेनाइज करते हैं.
Exactly. होली अच्छा वो होली नहीं आई, होली चली गई पहले लॉकडाउन से. Otherwise it would have been a very boring Holi. Doing nothing. Like no water. Like Diwali you can still celebrate. Distancing करके पटाखे छुड़ा लो. But Holi पे you literally it's anti-distancing festival.
Yeah, true. It's I think a jaundice epidemic would be worse during Holi.
Just don't eat yellow.
I actually hate Holi the way it's become, man. Like, actually, I've never really liked Holi. It's never been one of my favorite holidays.
It's been, I think I like the environment post Holi. Like 12 बजे के बाद जब थोड़े chill हो जाते हैं लोग and they're eating stuff. That I like.
Yeah.
You can go out for a drive and just
actually, I'll tell you what I like. I like it if it ends at a certain hour, you take a shower and then you mutually agree not to fuck with each other for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
What ends up happening nowadays is we plan that, okay, we'll start at like 9 in the morning, go till 12. 1 o'clock, we'll all take a shower. And by 2 o'clock, some idiot who shows up late will come with and put gulal on everyone. And then you spend the rest of the night with fucking thing falling on your food and entering your mouth and tasting weird. That's the part I hate about Holi.
Silicon loaded festival, dude.
I swear, man.
Yeah, that's how it is, dude.
As a kid, I would love it though. But as a kid, we were assholes. Like in my colony, there would be people. They would, I don't know कहाँ से लेके आ जाते हैं, कुछ बहुत ही टट्टी कलर टाइप का वो होता था, कलर होता था. It would be like crystalline in nature, ठीक है? And they would put lots of it in their hand और ऐसे रगड़ के तेरे मुंह पे आके करते थे. They would like rub their hands on your face and those crystals would cut you. So when you fucking take a bath.
What the hell, who are these people?
Idiots. This is nothing. They would put wheat on their hand and like rub it all over their head.
Weed?
Wheat, like the hair removal cream.
Why?
They were assholes. Kids meant all out war, gobar, all sorts of things. Vasant Kunj, bro.
I think that's the worst area to grow up in.
I'm telling you, this was...
I think you grew up in a shady neighborhood.
Yeah, C block was not that shady at the time. Yeah.
Like Vasant Kunj of the 2000s, right? Early 2000s.
Early 2000s, yeah.
Yeah, I don't have a very good impression of it.
I think, yeah.
Like that part of town nobody goes to. It's like just connected by one
It was
road.
for the longest time. You would have rickshaw walas not willing to go to Vasant Kunj. Gurgaon would be a different city. That's like taking an Uber and going like Jaipur chaloge.
The rickshaw wala be like Vasant Kunj nahi aate bhai, सारे हमारे बाल remove कर देते हम लोग.
No, but
free waxing.
So even today it happens. There are some areas of Vasant Kunj like Kapaseda and all, and people get drunk. So they see a pizza guy, they stop him, they get the pizza, and they be like, "Jao." So now there are actually designated zones where Domino's will not deliver.
Oh.
Of fear of
and also
being...
don't like pay in advance if you live in that area. Just pay on delivery. You don't know if it's coming. You order it.
True.
Right? So...
I mean, I'm sure they'll send another one.
It's difficult to be a pizza lover in all neighborhoods. Like, if you're a pizza lover, you have to choose your neighborhood.
Matlab?
They won't deliver, right? In all neighborhoods. So...
No, like, the pizza, the Domino's could be adjacent to that neighborhood, but they
won't deliver.
Not deliver.
So, what I'm saying is, if you have to be a pizza lover, choose your neighborhood carefully.
Yeah, true.
Like, if you
Pizza should dictate your neighborhood.
Exactly. There should be a pizza index. I'm probably sure there is.
I think you got something there, dude.
Pizza
it's called Zomato.
It's called... No. Like, safety index. Like, if you can measure safety in a neighborhood through pizza deliveries.
How?
If Domino's or like whatever, Zomato is not delivering pizzas in certain neighborhoods. Or like food in general.
Oh, that way. You can tell basically what is the reason for not delivering that.
Right. So probably there's a crime.
I think one look at the colony can also tell you that.
You have to go, right? If you...
Yeah, I'm sure.
If you're moving to a new city.
I'm sure.
Just look at where all Domino's delivers. If you're moving to Mumbai, just check it. कहाँ deliver कर रहा है?
You think it could be a thing where we have really shitty neighborhoods but with really pretty houses? Like make it a design thing.
Yeah, it was the experiment they did, no? The broken windows. So in one of the experiments in, where was it, Oregon or Chicago? So they wanted to test, I'm not sure if I remember the experiment correctly, that whether people start feeling better about their lives or if there's a behavioral change in the society if they just fix all the broken windows in the neighborhood and they paint, like remove all the graffiti and like just deck up the neighborhood. It looks good. And they wanted to observe if there was a change in the behavior of the...
Yeah.
And it actually changed.
It changed the behavior. I'm sure.
It's same with like Delhi Metro, right?
Same with toilets. If a
Same
toilet
with
is
toilets.
clean, the chances
Yeah.
of it getting dirty are less. If a toilet
Exactly.
is dirty,
It will be dirty more.
it'll make people more incentivized to pee on the wall instead of
True.
the pot.
Yeah. Or the walls. If you're in a UP
Or write your name with it.
Write your name while peeing. That never happens. It's just always a drip.
You haven't been to Shah Rukh Khan.
Also depends what your name is. How long your name is.
Rajinder. You'll probably go with Raju.
My name wouldn't be possible. It's quite long.
Anshuman would be impossible.
And there's M and then A and
For
N.
Vikram, I need to drink like 3-4 beers, dude.
Vikram. It's not that.
It would take time. Yeah. The K and the R is like
You can never get the K right.
Yeah. M will end up looking like an X.
Yeah.
And I have to be very skilled. It'll be like one long.
Like a dripping name M. Like a spider. Like what's a Superman M? It's trying to fly up. With a long trail behind it.
Yes. Probably something like that.
Yeah, don't. So what else is up?
Finally back to this question. Nothing, yeah. Work is up. And it's crazy how you think, right? Like we have less things selling in the world, but we have more advertisements for it now.
How come?
Every brand I'm working on right now is on fire. They want to release as many ads as possible. Like there'd be a time they would advertise one product, right? Create a whole campaign and have features of that product under that campaign as a part of it. Now they're taking features and creating entire campaigns just from the features.
But why now? Like, are people buying more?
Maybe they want people to buy more. Maybe it's a
incentive.
move to and I think a lot is happening because people are not investing in films anymore. There's hardly any commercials being made.
Right.
So now companies are spending more on digital and they realize that everyone is online these days throughout the day.
True. Plus also agencies will find less work, so they might do it for you for cheaper.
True. That's actually something I haven't understood because honestly speaking, the quantum of work has increased.
For film agencies. No, for
film,
ad agencies.
No, but ad agencies, like digital agencies for sure.
Yeah.
Right. So now we have, clients who want to make, instead of having like one campaign in one quarter, now they want to do 3 campaigns in one quarter. Right. So it just makes you think that, okay, that they're buying that much media space, they're buying that many creatives from an agency. There is that much more profit being made, even though there might be a lesser margin to it, even though they might be giving a discount on it.
So is it for some sectors or are they making ads for everything?
I think across.
Really?
Of all my advertising
for cars, for example? I don't think so.
Even cars. You'd be surprised by the amount of money that's being invested in getting people to buy cars now.
Really? Like people losing jobs. The car is something you buy when you have certain disposable income, right?
True.
When you have certain
but say you're a car
security for the future.
Say you're a car company and you know that this is a time when people are not buying cars. This is also a time when people are on the internet. Rather than making a TVC, you'd invest the same amount of money in bombarding somebody who might have searched car on the internet. The idea is not to push sales. Of course, indirectly you want to push sales. The idea is to be top of mind recall.
Oh, that way. And it's not expensive.
Definitely cheaper than creating a proper commercial.
And TV also.
TV also, yeah.
Yeah. I think there's a big difference now.
But my thing is, the quantum of work has increased, but people have decreased.
So the workload has shot up.
Oh my god. No, but it should be the inverse, right? Because companies are making more money. Ideally speaking, we should be hiring more people.
Are companies making more money or is it feeling like they're making more money? Because the work is coming down to few people.
They would be making more money.
No. Because more work is coming on you, right?
So, no. Across.
No, not you as an individual. Like you as an employee. So more work is coming on an employee. So that employee might feel like, oh, there's a lot going on. There's a lot of work going on.
No. There's tangible, I said.
Like more contracts being signed.
Yeah.
Okay. That's surprising. That's partly surprising. Partly I can understand why it's happening.
I think what's going to happen is there's going to be a huge hiring wave in advertising that's going to come very soon.
As soon as things normalize.
Yeah, I think even before things normalize. I think in the next upcoming few months.
Really?
Yeah, they'll be hiring a lot.
That's like a hopeful industry. Like I haven't heard from anyone.
Tell me
so far
any other industry that makes sense at the moment.
That's what I'm saying. I haven't heard from any industry which is saying, oh, probably healthcare. But apart from that,
Even healthcare is having its downfall. People are not wanting to visit doctors. People are
no,
not.
no, I'm
wanting-
saying the prospect, like when this whole thing goes down.
Yeah.
If you look at industries that might pick up, you could assume healthcare, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, you could be wrong, but you could assume healthcare,
No.
right?
Insurance.
Exactly, healthcare, insurance, but
Digital advertising.
not many others.
Digital
So
advertising.
digital
for sure.
advertising is a little surprising, but not like half surprising. Like I said, like
So digital advertising in general has always been struggling with asserting its place in India.
true. So that is what I've noticed. That's what I was about to say. You can clearly see the different types of ads or the content that our parents see and we see, right? There's still more towards TV. Like my dad watches TV all the time. So he sees completely different types of ads, which I've never seen.
True.
So one thing is that there will never be any truly big ad anymore, which everyone has seen. Because it's so algorithm. जैसे पहले होता था ना Cadbury's का एक ad आया क्या स्वाद है जिंदगी में. So everyone's seen it. Now it's never gonna happen because there's no like national ad for anything, unless somebody like decides.
No, that's true. That's true. It's very rare to find one ad that is gonna be cutting across all.
Yeah.
There are still companies that get there.
Of course.
I mean, Maggie is probably the biggest
Maggie
example.
and like sanitizer, probably like a
sanitizer brands, Lifebuoy and all. Even there, but see the thing is, there's clearly been a bifurcation. Now that you can target people more individually,
exactly,
you can create more custom ads for people. The problem that's been happening till now is that there's an old mindset that's been there in clients that 80% of my advertising budget should go in making a nice TV commercials and hiring a good celebrity and getting a good production house. And that stuff runs expensive. Like just the creation of that one asset is running in a CR.
Mm-hmm.
Right now you would add another like 20 CR to buy the channels, and it's a huge expenditure.
Yeah.
Digital for 20 CR you can bomb it.
Yeah, it's like a national campaign.
Exactly.
For the
bigger
entire year.
You can get engagements. You can ascertain कि इसने देखा है, पूरा देखा है, कितना देखा है, देख के कितना उसने will दिखाया खरीदने का, how many conversions have actually happened, how many people bought. So it's a more detailed medium.
Mm-hmm.
But it was always fighting this old school mindset. So always you would find in India digital budgets are very low and mainline budgets is very high.
Yeah, digital was like a ancillary thing.
Exactly.
But now it will become the mainstream.
Now it would become the mainstream.
Yeah,
I think that whole divide that we had, that 80% of the budget would go here and 20 would go.
I think it's not just true for advertising, like digital, even for news, we see how people who consume mostly from TV channels and how people who consume online have different political views. Like they start having different, like if you compare with their families, people who still watch.
But tell
TV
me one
news.
thing. So now your family still watches cable TV? Your mom and dad?
Yeah.
Okay, I've got this Jio set-top box,
Right.
which works exactly like a TV. Right?
Yeah,
so,
I have
so
that
they don't
too.
consume TV anymore. They're just consuming that.
Right.
Which is as good as a normal digital medium.
True.
Although I agree, the ads they get on that thing are still very custom made for them.
So if you're watching a news channel through Jio, the news channel will still broadcast you the same ads that it broadcasts on TV.
It won't broadcast it the same way.
No, it will.
You won't be watching the channel through Jio. You'd be watching the news through Jio. You're saying, if I watch NDTV on Jio, will it be the same NDTV that's playing on TV? I don't think it'll have the same.
But so far it's the same.
It's the same?
Yeah, so far it's the same.
Probably
it can change.
The ads would probably be the same too. Do you have ads on it then?
Yeah. It's the same TV, but it's
just broadcasting
not
the
through
TV channel.
Tata Sky, it's just through Jio. So it's still broadcast, like it's the same content, but the manner of broadcast is through Wi-Fi.
Probably.
So but eventually it's also going to change, because what happens is now even if you're watching a broadcast like a mainstream TV channel, your TRP will be more accurate, right?
True.
Because abhi tak to you were doing a methodology. Now you have the accuracy, like.
Exactly. I can tell you, okay, in this area, this type of biscuit is going to be sold, and in that area, that type of biscuit is going to be sold. And I can program my ads accordingly also.
No, there a step behind it. No, I'm talking about a step behind it. Let's say you say XYZ channel is number 1. So far, it used to be based on TRP, which is a method, right? It's not
Right,
a perfect
right. Okay.
representation.
Just saying the way of measuring success has changed.
Exactly. Now
Oh,
it will
yeah.
be very accurate. It'll be
Yeah.
if ABC channel is number one, it will show number one. There's no like fudging that data.
Yeah. That accuracy is also gonna drive more investment.
Yeah, so it's gonna make it like very close to digital. It's gonna be digital itself.
Yeah. I think ours is the last generation that experienced cable.
Yeah, I
TV.
think so.
I don't
And
think our kids will be a cable TV generation.
yeah, there will be no national phenomena anymore.
I think that's a good thing.
So far, it's not been that good if you look at it politically
Why?
because of all the division,
No,
polarization.
but think it for kids.
For kids, I think younger people are in general more liberal and like less prone to tradition. Plus, they are getting information not from conventional positions of authority. They are getting it from everybody.
They're choosing it.
They're choosing it, and also the source, like the choices
Yeah.
you have. It's not authority, like it's not A channel versus B channel. It's
Yeah.
just that random guy,
Yeah.
right? So it's gonna be like, yeah, very isolated minds, but it could be good also. Let's see.
Well, let's hope so, man.
Cool, dude. Thanks so much for coming.
It's been a
Came
pleasure.
all the way from Dwarka.
Honestly, it was nothing. For this, I would do it anytime.